And that's why it fell apart, because it wasn't designed for scrutiny, it was designed for fear. And fear only works when nobody looks at it too closely. This is what lawfare looks like when the government overreaches, when the evidence isn't strong enough to survive daylight, and when a court decides it isn't going to sign off on a political message disguised as a security concern. And if you want to understand why this matters, you start with the basic truth that this case should never have existed in the first place. Because the charge was terrorism, the label was terrorism, the framework was terrorism, and the punishment would have carried all the weight of that word, even though the prosecution knew she hadn't committed, planned, or facilitated anything remotely connected to terrorism. They went after her because of words, pulled from the mass of her online activity and stripped of context. And even then, they only managed to use 4 posts, which tells you everything about the scale of what they were looking at and the scarcity of anything they could build a case out of. 4 posts out of tens of thousands, and those 4 were treated as proof of a political orientation the Crown wanted to paint as dangerous. It's a dishonest way to build a case, isn't it? And it's a dishonest way to treat political speech too. But dishonesty becomes convenient when the government wants an example, which is exactly what this felt like. And nobody has turned dishonesty into their stock in trade quite like Keir Starmer, our Pinocchio Prime Minister, whose nose should now be so long it could touch the moon. They saw an activist who talks plainly about genocide and apartheid and the political right of occupied people to resist occupation, and they tried to turn that into criminal intent.